Hello, I'm probably riding my bike. I'm riding my monopole compact cargo bike today. Here it looks so cute and tiny, but it actually carries a lot. And today it's some bike inception. There's a new bike day imminent, and I'm going to build it at home myself, but there's a few things I don't have the tools or ability to do. I'm going to go and get some help. Before on these kind of runs to bike shops, I'd awkwardly strap wheels or frames to my racks or carry them on my back. But I'm grateful to have a cargo bike for this trip now. These are the kind of days that I really appreciate having it. And there's something extra special about riding around on your cargo bike with your beautiful new frame in tow. A very smug grin on my face for this ride today. I love the process of building a new bike, from sourcing the different parts, slowly collecting them, whether they're second-hand, new, finding the best price, dreaming and imagining what your build's going to look like at the end. It's only about 6 years since the first time I built my own bike. Since then I've gained a little bit of skill. I still don't know a lot, but I enjoy the learning process. Even learning from my mistakes can be enjoyable, sometimes just annoying. Over the last few years I've collected enough tools to be able to mostly build a bike, but I don't have the fancy expensive headset tool and a few others. So today I'm going to go and get the headset installed. And now riding around on my cargo bike to do this is all part of the bike build, which makes it even more enjoyable. Just look at this glorious weather. Despite the cold, there's loads of people out on their bikes today. It's beautiful. For those regular viewers, this route might be quite familiar. You might be able to guess where I'm going to stop before Rookie Bike. Of course, it's stopping off at HPC Coffee, Hitch Bicycle Club. I can't resist going in every time I'm nearby for a delicious latte and good vibes. Even if you turn up by yourself, you end up chatting to someone. Most cafes here you just kind of keep to yourself and just talk to the people that you've come with. But HPC Coffee has a kind of English pub vibe without the beer. Anyone's welcome. Come and go. Come and have a chat to anyone. And you might even meet a friend who'll join you for a bit of your ride to the bike shop. I haven't made much fanfare about this, but this week marks the 1 year anniversary of my YouTube channel. Since I was out riding my Rivendell Romulus one day, and I spontaneously just decided to make a bike check video. And now 1 year, 52 videos later, and 25,000 subscribers. I'm pretty happy with how it's going. I'm kind of amazed. I expected a few hundred. I really appreciate everyone who subscribes and all the lovely comments on my videos. It feels like such a lovely, open, welcoming community to be a part of. I've got a lot of internet bike friends all over the world who I'd love to ride with in real life. Maybe one day I can do a probably riding world tour. Riding with all of you in your hometowns, trying some good local cafes, and leaving a trail of clean bowl clubs in my wake. Fingers crossed I can do that one day. But in the meantime, I hope you just continue enjoying my rides, mostly in Seoul. I thought I'd missed a few weeks, but I think I made up with some extra midweek videos and managed to average one video a week. Hopefully I can keep that up for a while. Luckily I enjoy the whole process, so it doesn't feel like a chore. I'm riding my bike every day anyway, something I love to do. At least one ride a week can be a video. I enjoy the process of editing as well. Reliving my rides, especially when I'm looking back at these blue skies. And I especially enjoy the interactions and communication and the good vibes from all of you. So thank you again. I promise to show you plenty more little alleyways and shortcuts around Seoul. And this particular alleyway leads us to one of the best bike shops in Seoul. It's Rune Bike. Lots of different bikes on sale, including some Rivendels, even some other Runes, some Velo Orange, and of course his custom handmade frames as well. And here's my Rune Rufus Stone in the bike stand, and the expensive tool that I don't want to buy for the occasional bike build that I do. One day I'd love to have my own workshop like this with all the tools. But for now I'm just building bikes in the basement of my apartment building. With all the right tools and experience and skill, Rune makes everything so easy and fast. Threaded 1-inch stem on this bike, and we're going to cut it down to size. I'll talk more about the build and choices of components later, but we're starting off with this 1980s vintage Shimano Dura Race headset, which I think looks super nice on this frame. I bought it on a Naver cafe on the internet. Naver's like the Korean Google, and there's little community groups called cafes, and this one is for buying and selling vintage parts. And it's when I'm grateful to have some Korean ability to be able to read the posts and communicate with the sellers in Korean. A few of the parts for the build were from that Naver cafe. Bike in tow, with its fresh new old headset, ready to go back home for the rest of the bike build. Love this little cargo bike. I think I could carry a whole bike if you took both the wheels off and strapped them next to each other. So here's a medium Rune Rufus Stone. And the first part is another vintage Shimano Dura Ace seat post from the 80s. Maybe about as old as me, if not older. Basically, I copied Yuta from Wood Village with this. The one I rode in Tokyo had the same seat post, and I just thought it looked lovely with this lugged mustard frame. So thanks for the inspiration, Yuta. I hope you don't mind me copying you. Let's get it in the stand. So if you've watched my previous videos, I rode a Rune bike with Ash from Rune and Tom from the Wood Cyclery in the New Forest in the UK, and loved the feel of the modern components with a kind of lugged vintage style frame, but still modern. And then I rode again in Tokyo from Wood Village Cycles, which had a mix of modern shifting GRX, Shimano hydraulic brakes, and vintage components. So continuing the Dura Ace theme, I got these 1980s cranks as well, which are gorgeous, with a no brand wide narrow chainring, just from eBay. I attached it to a 118mm square taper bottom bracket. It kind of makes the Q factor a bit wider, but it makes the chain line much nicer for the shifting I chose. The most beautiful stem, the Nitto Technomic. I've got it on a few of my bikes. This one's much shorter than the others. And these wide Rune hilt handlebars. They're 50 centimeters. I chose this width because that's what they had on the bike that I rode in Tokyo. I think you can get 48, 50 or 52. With the short stem, these are just right for me. Ash from Rune said it's about time that I had a drop bar bike again. And these wide drop bars are much more comfortable than others, I think. And the bucket list brakes, pull clampers. All my last disc brake bike, I had some Shimano XT hydraulics, which are super powerful. But I'd always imagined of switching over to Paul clampers. So I just had to get them for this build. And I love this pewter colour as well. I think it matches the components nicely on my bike because I'll have a mixture of silver and black. And the derailleur that I chose is kind of grey colour anyway. I basically learned everything about building bikes from YouTube, especially Park Tool. Calvin Jones is the GOAT of YouTube bike maintenance and building tutorials. And a lot of the manufacturers like Paul and Microshift have good tutorials on their websites too. Some Boyd components, 650B disc wheels, and the Rene Hurst Slick 50B 48mm switchback hill tyres. On the bike I rode in the New Forest, it had some knobbly Rene Hurst, and I love the feel of them, so I thought I'd try them out on this one. But with slicks, because I'll be riding a lot of paved. I considered splashing out on some GRX shifting, but I wanted the mechanical disc brakes, so I went for the Microshift Sword 10-speed. Most of my other bikes have friction shifting, but for this one I wanted to try some more modern style clicky shifters. And part of the reason I chose these two because I heard they're quite easy to set up and maintain. Nice mechanical feel to them. And of course a Nissan cable. All my builds have these. I like to match or monochrome to my frame. And some good memories with this saddle. I bought it with my good friend Alberto, riding around visiting different bike shops in Tokyo. Everything mechanical, no internal routing, and always MKS pedals. These are silver and Gorditos. Out of the house and down into the basement garage for the slightly messier part of adding the chain and setting up the shifting. Both the shifting and the brakes were super amazingly easy to set up. And a commute to work before putting the handlebar tape on to check that everything was right and felt good. Once you put the handlebar tape on, you kind of cemented everything for a while, unless you want to rip it all off and start again. For some reason I find putting bar tape on kind of stressful. I can never get it quite perfect. This time I'm trying out something thicker. It's the Brooks Cambium rubber bar tape, recommended by a few friends for its comfort and longevity. Of course, I was being guided by Calvin Jones from the Park Tool YouTube. I usually go for some colour, but today just classic black on this classic looking bike. I think the pop of colour on the cabling is enough. Not a perfect tape job, but good enough. It didn't fall off at least. The inaugural ride on my Rune Rufus Stone. Now quite a familiar feel because I've ridden a few different ones in a few different places. And it definitely has its own character and charm. And I have no idea if I'm going fast, but it feels fast. I'll do a full detailed bike check later on in the video. There's just one more thing I need to add to it first. And the second time in this video is another stop off at HPC Coffee. Always good vibes. And always some cool bikes to check out too. There's always a different bike here. Strangely enough, this same model of bike was on the Rivendell email newsletter last week. So I was surprised to see it here in Seoul. It's a folding Bridgestone. Quite a cool design. And a fun little ride. I love trying out different bikes. In HPC Coffee, there always seems to be different bikes to try. Now it's time to head to another bike shop that I haven't shown you yet. It's more of a distributor than a bike shop. But they have the icing on the cake for my bike, or the cherry on top. Just one more thing I need for it to be complete. Here we are at Korbworks, a distributor for a few different brands including Velo Orange. And they also have some vintage mountain bikes being made up for sale too, under the name Eewa. I'll add their Instagram in their video description so you can check them out. Lots of cool bikes here. Definitely worth checking out if you're looking for a used bike or some Velo Orange parts. They've got Jack the bike rack and some Strizzlands parts as well. It's good to see those kind of brands being available in Korea. And a new bike day for someone. A 90s specialised rock hopper. This bike brought back memories of visiting bike shops when I was a kid and dreaming of owning a bike like this. This one in very nice condition. And even the pedals brought back some memories. Because these DMR pedals were what I had on every single bike I had when I was a kid. My BMX and mountain bikes. It's amazing how just a pedal can bring back so many memories and such nostalgia. And here's the final piece of the puzzle for my new bike. It's my favourite bottle cage that I have on a few bikes. It's the Velo Orange Mojave, or Mojave, I'm not sure how to say, sorry. It's the bottle cage that takes a litre bottle for your thirsty riders out there. I have a litre Clean Canteen stainless steel bottle, which I like to use on all my bikes. Now my bike's finally finished. Gonna head home and show you a little bike check on the way. Stay with me.
Hello.
Hi. So here's the final complete bike. I think it came out even better than the vision and image in my head. The more bike builds I do, the less I care about matching silver or black components, and I think mismatching them is fine. Especially if you have a mix of vintage and modern parts. It absolutely floats on the Renault Hurst tyres, and the shifting is pretty nice with the Microsoft Sword as well. I'll share my thoughts when I've used it a bit longer. And the pull brakes are an absolute dream. Definitely worth it. The Rufus Stone is a lugged steel frame with disc brakes, through axles, and 1-inch threaded steerer with quill stem. It's so cool. There aren't many bikes like it. I think this mustard colour is a beauty as well. Especially in this evening winter sun. I said before, I don't know if I'm actually going faster when I ride it, but it feels fast. It's fairly light compared to my other bikes, and the drop bars and modern shifting make it feel like you're flying. I'm excited to ride it more, and can't wait to take it into the rougher stuff too. Like most bike frames nowadays, it's made in Taiwan. But I still feel a connection to my home back in England, having this bike from a British company with its kind of British styling and names and connections to the south of England. I'm excited to see what other bikes that Rune make in the future. And I'm excited to share my thoughts and more bike rides with you in the coming years. Hope you enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe if you want to see more. See you later.